Welcome. I always like to try spicing up our opening intro music just so it sounds a little different every time. I want to welcome you to Adventurous Spirits. This is a weekly musical podcast to help us reclaim some excitement and magic in everyday life, even when it's raining. It's very rainy today in Los Angeles, and we've had a lot of rain this year. So it feels a little different than what many people expect of sunny LA. Regardless of what it's doing outside, I welcome you here to this lovely little environment filled with friends. And I am your host for this next half hour or so. I'm Cortney Matz. I will be serenading you in the midst of your own unique personal adventure, because every personal growth journey needs a soundtrack. Our topic for today, and we're in a whole month of art discovery themes, but our topic for today is about your own creativity. And I'm curious, for anyone who might be listening, either live or in the replay on the podcast, do you consider yourself creative? Last week we got into a bit of a debate of what is art? What is art made of? How do we know what art is? Because I think most of us tend to initially think of art as a painting. And yet there are so many art forms included in the arts, the whole world of artistry. So just for the sake of clarity, I want to start off by making it abundantly clear, making it very obvious that when I talk about art discovery, I mean all of the arts. Anything that has a bit of human spirit in it, something that was made uniquely and specifically to the person who made it, can be art. But when you think about your own creativity, how does that manifest? Do you see your creativity in your life, in the way that you do life? I want to submit to you for consideration that there's opportunity for creativity in every aspect of life, just like art can be discovered in any aspect of life. So if your particular situation at this very moment is sitting at a desk or chasing after small children, it's possible that the way you do those things could be an art. Or there's potential for creativity in the way you do those things, I say. So I just want to put that out there and see what you think. I will never forget when I was working in an office all the time. I had a coworker, and it was kind of on a day like this. It just kind of felt like a low energy day, and she had a ton of paperwork to do, and she just said, I need to go to the Hallmark store and get a candle. And I was so perplexed by that statement. And then she came back and she had this cute little candle. It was a little, I think whatever, they have a candle, it had a candle of the month at the time. I don't know what the Hallmark store does now, but we used to have a Hallmark store right around the corner from where my office was. I don't think I had ever shopped there before. It doesn't sound like my kind of place, but she kind of turned me onto it to recognize that there are places that are just full of little luxuries, small, affordable departures from the norm. And I was really impressed with how just having this little candle, I think it was pumpkin scented for that particular month, that was the candle of the month, just made a difference. It created an environment that felt cozier and more inviting and more conducive to concentrating and doing something that did not seem at all like something you want to do. And right now we are in tax season here in the United States. We have about a month until April 15th. So I just put that out there in case it gives anyone ideas. Taxes are paperwork that I never really feel like doing. It's never like I'm like, oh, today I'm gonna do my taxes, because that seems like the way I want to spend my life right now. But it just has to be done. So it's like, when is the least terrible time to do them? But maybe a candle will help. A little spontaneous shopping trip, and a little ephemeral purchase, a little luxury purchase of less than $10. If it makes your life a little better, it might be worth it. I'm wondering what that might be for you. What makes your life feel a little bit better in the moment? What would be a creative way to mix things up and give yourself a chance to enjoy even things that may not be inherently enjoyable? And there might not be a way, honestly. I just want to recognize that. So this is a bit longer preamble than I meant to give, but I just kind of got on a roll thinking about creative ways to change up your environment. But I want to do a song about, I think, a very common experience, especially among those of us who do creative things for a living. And it's like you have to be creative. And this song is about someone who got burned out trying to do the creative things. And it's called The Missionary. Picture this, I'm in a brand new city. Don't know where I'm going and I don't fit in. I'm not as prepared as I should have been. So I sit down and wait for a sign. Well, suddenly here sits a missionary. He stares at the road and he's not too friendly. As lost as I feel, it's sort of comforting to share silence with somebody near. So I ask, are you from around here? And he says, I came here to change the world. And after all these years, the world still feels the same. And I am the one who has changed. Well, I asked more questions. He painted a scene of a bright-eyed young man with a heart full of dreams. He felt so clearly how it all could be. But did anyone else want to see? He tried and he tried to convince them. He did everything he could think of to commend him and his vision to a world that couldn't believe him. He talked for an hour and finally spent. He said, thanks for listening, and away he went. It took me some time to realize the missionary changed my life. If I see him again, I'll reply and tell him I came here to face the world. And after just Checking in with the chat here. Steve is here. Hello, Steve. I try when I can to put some creativity into the distinctly non-creative writing I do for a day job. Fun words, obscure references, general silliness helps make an otherwise boring assignment better. Yeah, I hear that. You gotta find little ways to make it fun for you. I used to do that with some of my corporate emails, like internal communication, just like give joke subject headings and things like that. Just, you gotta do something different now and then. You can't do the same old memo. So I wrote this song because I think it's very relatable for all of us to kind of hit a wall on the thing that we felt so passionately about once. We feel unappreciated by both the thing we're doing and the people we're doing it for. And what I like about that story, I recognize myself in both of the people in it, in both the newcomer and the old timer. Where the old timer who's just like, this is useless, why am I spending my life this way? And the newcomer who's like, I just need to know that there's a place for me here. And sometimes hearing someone's story is all it takes to give you that sense of potential belonging. Sometimes just in the hustle bustle of a busy day, it can feel like there's no room for you to be yourself, to show up with your curiosity, with your whole with your whole being, you know. It can feel like, oh, there's a schedule, stick to the schedule, gotta be responsible, gotta hit the deadline, gotta fulfill expectations. I don't think anyone operates that way. That's not how we're designed. It doesn't feel normal, but it doesn't feel normal in the sense that like we wouldn't choose it probably on our own, but because we live in a society where we depend on one another, then it can feel like the right thing to do, to submit to that. And speaking as someone who can easily turn any wonderful thing into a chore, I think there is a lot of room for us to be ourselves in every aspect of life, in every relationship. And when you recognize, you know what, I am just not feeling this day, it's probably worthwhile to slow down and pay attention to that. Not disappear, unless you really can't handle it. But slow down. Just slow down and even communicate to those around you. I need an extra minute or two just to adapt to the chain of events today. And you may recognize it in those around you as well, that they also are not having all the spoons today. They're not just on it. But there are days when it can feel like everyone but you is moving at the speed of light. So what does it feel like to just be tuning in to what your inner self is craving in this environment? The possibilities of what's before you, inside of you. When those things can feel like either too much or not enough. I have felt like both very frequently in my life. Like, I feel like there are days where I just don't have the smarts that people expect of me to do this job. I don't have the talent. I don't have the patience, whatever it is. I don't have enough. And then there are days where I feel like I have too much, and I'm just overwhelming everybody with all of my muchness, and I'm exuding it. And it's like, can we just sort of have this all contained in a more dependable constant? And I think the answer is no. We can't. May as well accept that this is life. Whatever we are right now, that is what we get. And it's wonderful. And whatever we're getting from other people right now, that's what we get. And it also is wonderful in its own way, even when it's horrible. Because wouldn't it be dull to live in a world where you could predict everything? So that's my ramble through thoughts about creatively anticipating and receiving your day. Agree or disagree? I'm curious. Yesterday I got to spend some time with a 1-year-old. And he's such a fun kid. I love just hanging out with him, and it reminds me that the world is full of minutiae, like so many things to explore. Sometimes by picking up crumbs and putting them in your mouth, which I don't recommend. Sometimes it's just by touching all of the shrubs that you walk past. How many trees and shrubs and flowers do I walk by all the time, and I only touch some of them? I do touch them a lot, actually, but I don't touch all of them. Just because you want to know what they feel like. I think there's some of that natural curiosity that is enlivening to embrace on the regular. So this next song is one that was inspired by a friend who was just telling me one day about a dream that she had where she kind of reconnected with the vast internal resources that are available to us as human beings. And so I wrote this song about that. It's called Anything. Just trying to make sense out of the dichotomy and the range of experience where we can feel 1 minute like, oh gosh, the world is full of possibility, and then the next minute it just feels like you've been crushed into a small package, and you don't feel like you can expand. You're just squished. You're squished in here. And we experience both and the whole gamut in between, and so that's what this song is about. Open the door and walk inside to a space that is so deep and wide that you cannot find the end. No, you cannot find the end. Keep exploring round each bend. Something beautiful begins, and you cannot find the end. No, you cannot find the end, and you can do anything that you want to. Yeah, you want to. Just do anything. You can try to put your hand to what if it's true. Doubt creeps in. What if this is all pretend and it's coming to an end? end. You're not ready for the end. All day long you're wrestling how to get back to that dream where you couldn't find the end. I wish it never ended and you could do anything that you want to. Yeah, you want to. Just do anything you can think to. Put your mind to. What if it's true? Two sides of a coin. How to get back to the feeling where you can be anything. Round and around to the flip side. Is there a space in between? Wide-eyed, idealistic, and petrified. Round again. Do everything that you want to when you want to, but true anything is inside you. It will find you, whatever you do. Open your heart and look inside. Hidden gems, refracted light, and you cannot find the end. I really think that's true. There's something about the vastness of human potential. It's just there's always more. So I want to encourage you, even if you feel like you are done, you feel like you haven't been creative in a while, there is more. There's more in there. But there might be other stuff in the way of it coming out. Maybe it doesn't feel safe. Maybe there's other things taking the place of what that creativity might show up as. I know for me sometimes screen time is a big interference, or just wanting to get more work done. You know, if I spend another half an hour on my email, I might feel a little more at peace with my productivity for today. Sometimes it's other people's demands. Maybe you have a really intense work life, or you have a lot of family staying with you right now. And it's difficult to really separate yourself and what you want to make from all of that coming at you. And I just want to affirm that that is a very normal experience. I mean, it's one thing to try to set boundaries. It's another to just have stuff in your face. I'm just saying, if there's something that's coming to mind right now that's like, yeah, I could do with a little bit less of that. That might be impeding my creativity. Just invite you to ask, what if? What if you had 20 less minutes of TV? What if you had a little bit shorter phone time? A little less scrolling? Just maybe 1 or 2 times a week, making an intentional effort to create during that time. Sometimes I get overwhelmed by the sheer bigness of a project that I want to take on. But what if you had the freedom to just not do all of it? What if you just start? Whatever that looks like. Let yourself imagine what you would do, what you loved to do once a time that maybe now and then you wonder, why don't I do that anymore? Or why don't I enjoy doing that anymore? I used to really love cooking for myself and for others, and I do still enjoy it occasionally, but sometimes life just gets too busy and it doesn't seem like a priority anymore. At least not the part where I get to have fun with it. It's just sort of a matter of staying alive. But lately that's been coming to me more as I've been going through my day. It's just like, wow, I wish I could bring something to this friend that I'm going to visit. I wish I just had like soup or something. Homemade soup that I had made. I did just make chicken stock, so it's a good time to make soup. And it's not too difficult to go from, I wish I had made soup, to actually making a plan to make soup. Especially with fresh chicken stock. Oh my goodness. Matzo ball soup in this weather would be incredible. So I just offer that as an example. I'm curious what might be coming to your mind. Just a mini adventure, a little space to do something a little different, to honor your indomitable spirit, your desire to explore, your ability to discover. Just say if you are enjoying yourself so far, if you're hearing anything helpful or interesting or enjoyable. Would you go ahead and give this a like on YouTube and subscribe on whatever platform you're listening? My goal here is to inspire your day. Those are small steps that help me do that. Oh, Steve is weighing in on this. He says, when I first started my Instagram, I had plans for all sorts of fun photo shoots, but now I hardly do them anymore. I need to do them more. They're fun. All right. What's the first step? I know you have a bunch of locations picked out. Okay, well, this song is called The Possibilities. I hope that it just helps give you more and more ideas, as well as helping you perceive the creativity with which you already approach life. I don't have everything I need. I don't have any guarantees. I just have you right here next to me. And oh, the possibilities. Oh, the possibilities. I don't know everything I need. I don't know if I will succeed. I just know that you have faith in me. And oh, the possibilities, the possible. Oh, and nothing, nothing, nothing is impossible with you. I'm not shaking. I'm not shaking. I'm not shaking. 'Cause I'm standing on solid ground. I'm not shaking. I'm not shaking. No, not shaking. 'Cause I'm standing on solid ground. Oh, and nothing is impossible now. I don't have everything. I don't have everything I need. I don't have any guarantees. I just have you right here next to me. And oh, the possibilities. I hope that whatever adventures you find yourself in today, you'll come tell us about it in the Facebook group. We have a Facebook community called Adventurous Spirits. You just go to facebook.com/groups/adventurous spirits. I was just realizing today how much more aware I am of my daily adventures and opportunity for adventure, just through having a few folks to share it with and to talk about it with. Just making me more aware. If you'd like to hear any of these songs again, I encourage you to come and join my Patreon community. Patreon.com/Cortney Matz. My beloved patrons there help support this podcast and all of the songs that I've been writing. New songs every month, at least one. And you would be most welcome. I also want to thank Epiphany Space for being an awesome artist community and for providing my location for today. You got to keep a piano somewhere. If you could use some more creative people in your life that you can trust and work through the challenge of creativity together, I encourage you to check out epiphanyspace.com. For now, I bless you in your week. Whatever adventure finds you, whatever adventure you go out seeking, may it find you creatively interpreting and utilizing what is available to you. I'll see you next Tuesday. Have a great week. Have fun out there. Bon voyage.